Next on Tales of the Trails, why on earth would anyone want to visit the hottest, driest, lowest point in North America in the summertime? I'll show you why coming up. Welcome to another edition of Tales of the Trails. I'm Joyce Britton, and today in June, we're taking on the fiery furnace known as Death Valley National Park. This below sea level basin is a land of extremes brought on by steady drought and record summer heat. Summer starts early in Death Valley. By May, the valley is too hot for most visitors, yet throughout the hottest months, visitors from around the world still flock to the park. Why? My guess is to hike to Telescope and Wild Rose Peaks, which are at their best in the summer. The Panamint Mountains are the largest and highest in Death Valley National Park, flanked by the vast depth of Death Valley to the east and the Panamint Valley to the west. They stand alone in grand isolation. This biological island differs dramatically from the low desert. Pinyon pine and juniper woodlands above 6,000 feet provide habitat for mule deer and mountain lion, while rugged canyons and lofty ridges are home to bighorn sheep. The highest summit in the park, Telescope Peak, crowns the range at 11,049 feet. Its windswept slopes are home to ancient bristlecone pine trees, some as old as 3,000 years. A maintained trail leads to the top of Telescope Peak, which is a cool refuge from the desert's heat, but can be covered by deep snow in winter and spring. The road to Mahogany Flat Campground, the trailhead for Telescope Peak, is a rough one. The road is graded gravel up to charcoal kilns, and the final 1.5 miles to Mahogany Flat are on really rough gravel with sharp rocks jutting out. A high clearance vehicle is recommended. As we rounded that corner to begin the final 1.5 mile stretch to the campground, the Wild Rose charcoal kilns caught our attention, so we stopped for a closer look. And apparently they are open for camping without reservations. Oh, and there's a little lizard on the wall. There he is. Oh. This is too cool. And look, there's a window up at the top, or near the top. Tons of camping space. Like you could totally bring a group in here, and then they've got the little air vents over there. This is amazing. Kind of like a little hobbit hole, but like a teepee. And here's the whole colony of them. There's about, let's see, there's 10 of them all together. So there goes the tour. Designed by Swiss engineers and built by Chinese laborers in 1879, these kilns produce charcoal for the Modoc mine smelter about 30 miles west of here. The kilns closed after only 3 years of use. Because of their brief life and remote location, these may be the best preserved examples of charcoal kilns in the West. Last winter, I stood on the edge of the Badwater Pools gazing at the towering and then snow-covered Telescope Peak. The mountain was calling, and I wanted so badly to go, but knew that it wasn't time. Conditions didn't allow for safe travel up the road or for a safe climb to the peak. Now, here we are in the summer, and it is time. Hey there again, it's Joyce Britton, and you're watching another episode of Tales of the Trails. I am at Death Valley National Park in California, and tomorrow we're going to be hiking the Telescope Peak Trail, which is actually the trail that I'm on right now. However, we're camping tonight at the Mahogany Flats campground, and so I just took an evening stroll up the trail just to kind of get a feel for what we're going to be facing tomorrow a little bit. And so that's where I'm at right now. I'm probably about a quarter of a mile in, and it's just been uphill ever since the campground, which is it's a good workout for the evening, and it's good to kind of get my muscles in shape for tomorrow's hike. It's 7-mile hike from this trailhead, and it's about 3,000 feet of elevation gain, which is not too bad. I've done some hikes that have been a little bit more challenging than that, but this is a new peak for me, and so I'm really excited to do this one. I've seen pictures from it, and they're just amazing. It looks like an awesome trek, and Telescope Peak is at 11,049 feet in elevation at the summit, and it is the highest point in Death Valley. And it also overlooks the lowest point of Death Valley, which is Badwater Basin. So this should be a fun trek. I'm really excited. We've got about 3 people in our group. Well, we're a small group, very small group this time. But right now I'm just taking that evening stroll solo, and it's really cool. And if you look behind me here, you can see these really cool views of looking to the east, actually. And the sun is about to set right now, or the sun is setting right now. So it just looks pretty amazing there, with all the colors, the landscape, the mountains there in the distance. It's just a great view for an evening hike. And so actually, when you're hiking, you don't want to hike in shoes like this. These are actually my camping shoes, which I wear when I'm car camping. And I'm also wearing blue jeans, which I do not prefer to hike in. But tomorrow I'm going to be in full hiking gear. I'm going to be wearing my hiking boots as usual, and it's going to be a fun day, and hopefully no blisters, because I'm going to be wearing a thinner pair of socks, because my thicker socks tend to give me blisters in these hiking shoes and hiking boots. So I'm going to try something new tomorrow. So that's what you do when you hike. You test different things out, see what works, see what's going to hold up over time when you're doing longer treks. Like tomorrow's trek is going to be 14 miles total when you count it the round trip mileage. So it's going to be a fun adventure, and you're about to see that next on Tales of the Trails. What sort of trail will we find ourselves in? We'll have to find out in a few minutes. So that, I believe, is Telescope Peak, where we're going. And right now we're at, my GPS says we're at an elevation of 8,951 feet. And that's just over 11,000 feet up there. So have a little over 2,000 feet to go. And that looks like a nice, gentle sloped ridge there, saddle, to get to the peak. So should be a good climb. I've made it to the top of this like plateau here. There's a couple of cairns. You can see one here on the right, or one here on the left, and actually another one here on the right. And the view, I'm looking to the northwest of this plateau, and I can actually very clearly, I don't know if you can see it in this shot though, I took a couple of still photos with my telephoto zoom lens to try and see how close I could get to it. But you can see Mount Langley somewhere in the frame, and Mount Whitney, if you can see that far. But it's a very clear day. It's a little hazy looking that direction, but I can clearly make out those peaks, and I just think that's really cool. And the views, I'm sure, will probably just get even better once we get up to Telescope Peak, which is right over there, that pointed peak right there in the distance. It's probably about, I'm guessing we probably hiked about 3 to 3.5 miles, so we're probably just about halfway there. And we're at an elevation now of about 9,669 feet. And it looks like the trail just kind of goes down for a bit. And of course, we've got some rolling hills over there. Love the rolling hills, right? And to the right over here where the radio towers are, I believe that may be either Rogers Peak or Bennett Peak. But we'll have to check with Mika, who's up ahead. She's got the GPS and the topo map. So beautiful views, a beautiful day. Hey, I'm standing on like a ridge here and we're almost at Telescope Peak. It's so close, but it still seems kind of far. If you look behind me here, there it is, that big mammoth looking pointy thing right there. That is Telescope Peak. And for a while we've kind of had a little bit of a reprieve on the elevation gain because we went through this kind of a level patch where it was maybe 2 miles worth of pretty much level hiking, which was kind of nice. But now the real climbing begins as we have to go up this little piece here. But on the other side of that, there's a ridge that takes you up some switchbacks, I believe, and to the top of Telescope, which you can tell that ridge up to the top of that looks pretty steep. But it should be a piece of cake, you know, right? I'm a hiker. You're a hiker if you're watching this, I would assume. So it's pretty easy, right? Yeah, we both agree. It's easy. We're going to try this. We're going to do this together, okay? And we're going to make it to the top in like maybe half an hour, all right? Yeah, just stay tuned. We're going to do it. Yes. Say yes. Okay, yes. Now this is pretty interesting. There's rocks like embedded within this tree here. I've never quite seen this before. It's quite possible that the tree just kind of grew up and burst through the rocks, which is what I'm assuming has happened here, but I just think this is pretty cool. Gotta be careful of these little guys on the trail, because usually you might end up stepping right on one and you don't realize it. I'm glad I saw the little guy. I'm gonna spare him. Don't want to kill him. He's so cute. In his own way, of course. But it's just right there, you say. Yeah, that's what I keep telling myself, but somehow that doesn't make climbing a steep uphill feel any better. It's still a steep uphill regardless. But the good news is that it is just right there, and so not too much further. Not too much more of the steep uphill. So I'm just gonna put one foot in the front of the other like I always do, and just keep moving forward. That's what you gotta do. You just gotta keep moving forward, because the minute that you stop, that's time that you could have been moving forward, and you could have gotten farther than you had if you had not stopped, if you had not given up. So, yeah, keep moving forward. I'm on my way down from Telescope Peak. We're on the steep descent right now, but I just want to point something out. Remember when, at first, when we were climbing up this thing, I pointed to that right up there as the peak? Well, if you hike enough, you will come to know that there are a lot of false peaks, and actually that is one of them. We initially thought that that right there was Telescope Peak. Telescope Peak is actually, like, once you get up that, there's a little kind of a saddle that you cross to the other side of that ridge, and you just follow this ridge over to there, and that is actually Telescope Peak. It looks smaller, but it's actually taller than this peak right here, and you get a clear view of that once you get around to the other side. But that just goes to show that the objects that are closest to you appear bigger. So, you know, what that teaches me is that sometimes when I'm going through some difficult times or difficult challenges, because I'm in that moment, it takes my focus off of, you know, the greater things that are yet to come. And so, you know, if you're facing a difficult challenge or something like that, just because you're in it at the moment, don't allow that to cloud your focus from what you're expecting to reach in the future. Okay, don't take your eyes off of the goal that's in the distance just because things seem hard to you right now. So, actually, that is the tale of the trail for today. How's that? We're nearing the end of this extraordinary adventure. Did I make it safely back to the trailhead? You'll have to find out in just a few minutes. In the meantime, here are some fun facts about Telescope Peak and Death Valley National Park. The highest mountain in Death Valley National Park is 11,049-foot Telescope Peak. The vertical drop from the peak to the Badwater Basin is twice the depth of the Grand Canyon. Telescope Peak in Death Valley National Park was named by Dr. Samuel George in 1861. After climbing the 11,049-foot peak, Dr. George said that he could see so far that it reminded him of looking through a telescope. Rainfall in Death Valley averages less than 2 inches a year. There have been some years of no recorded rainfall at all. In 1929, no rain was recorded in Death Valley, California. From 1931 through 1934, a 40-month period, only 0.64 inches of rain fell. The salt pan on the floor of Death Valley covers more than 200 square miles. It is 40 miles long and more than 5 miles wide. Death Valley is the hottest place on Earth. In July 1913, 5 consecutive days of 129 degrees or above were recorded in Death Valley. On July 10, 1913, a reading of 134 degrees Fahrenheit was taken, the world record hottest air temperature. Hey there, I've made it back to the trailhead, and I'm about to go back to the campground to go and break down camp and while I wait for the rest of the people in my group. But it's just been a fun hike. I hope you enjoyed the adventure with me. I just want to tell you that you can follow me on Twitter at Tales of the Trails. It's at TOTT series, and you can also follow my blog, which has all the past episodes, and you can look forward to new episodes being uploaded on talesofthetrailseries.com. It's talesofthetrailsseries.com. I hope you had a great adventure. I sure did. My feet, I can't wait to take these hiking boots off and put some flip-flops on, but it's been a wonderful day. I hope you join me again on another adventure very soon.